Module 2, Cybersecurity Governance Frameworks and Principles. Welcome back. In Module 1, we laid the groundwork by defining governance, risk management, and compliance (GRC), and exploring why an integrated approach is vital for cybersecurity. You learned that governance G is about setting direction, defining authority, and ensuring accountability. Now, in Module 2, we will delve much deeper into this critical G component. How do organizations actually implement effective cybersecurity governance? They don't typically start from scratch. Instead, they leverage established frameworks and internationally recognized principles. These frameworks provide structured guidance, best practices, and often a common language for managing cybersecurity. In this module, you will become familiar with some of the most influential cybersecurity and IT governance frameworks used globally and increasingly relevant for organizations operating in Nigeria. We will explore their core ideas, compare their approaches, and understand how they help establish clear roles, responsibilities, and decision-making processes. We will also examine the fundamental principles that underpin good governance and how to translate these principles into practical structures within your organization. Think of this module as learning how to read the blueprints and understand the architectural principles needed to build a strong cybersecurity governance structure. Upon successful completion of this module, you should be able to identify and describe the purpose, structure, and key elements of common cybersecurity and IT governance frameworks, such as NIST CSF, ISO 27001, COBIT CIS controls. Compare and contrast these frameworks to understand the different focuses and potential use cases. Understand and explain the core principles of effective cybersecurity governance, including accountability, transparency, and strategic alignment. Define typical roles and responsibilities for cybersecurity governance across different levels of an organization, board, management, CISO, etc. Explain practical methods for establishing and maintaining cybersecurity governance structures, such as committees and charters. Discuss the critical importance of aligning cybersecurity governance efforts with overall corporate governance objectives and processes. Why use governance frameworks? Imagine trying to build a complex structure like a bridge or a skyscraper without any blueprints or established engineering principles. The result would likely be chaotic, inefficient, and unsafe. Similarly, managing cybersecurity across an organization without a guiding framework can lead to inconsistent practices, gaps in defenses, wasted resources, and difficulty demonstrating due diligence to regulators or partners. Cybersecurity and IT governance frameworks provide that essential structure. They offer numerous benefits, best practices, frameworks codify proven methods and controls gathered from industry experts and successful organizations worldwide. Consistency, they promote a consistent approach to managing security across different departments and systems within your organization. Common language frameworks provide standardized terminology, making it easier to communicate about security issues internally and with external parties, auditors, regulators, partners. Benchmarking, they allow you to compare your organization's security posture against recognized standards and identify areas for improvement. Compliance support, many regulations and standards either directly reference these frameworks or align closely with them. Implementing a framework can significantly help in meeting compliance obligations. E.g., ISO 27001 is often looked upon favorably by regulators globally and in sectors within Nigeria. Risk management integration, most governance frameworks incorporate or link directly to risk management principles, helping ensure that governance decisions are risk-informed. Demonstrating due care, implementing a recognized framework shows stakeholders, customers, regulators, insurers that your organization is taking cybersecurity seriously and following established practices. Choosing and adapting the right frameworks is a crucial first step in establishing effective cybersecurity governance. Let's explore some of the most prominent ones. Exploring key frameworks, NIST Cybersecurity Framework, CSF, the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, CSF, developed by the US. National Institute of Standards and Technology is one of the most widely adopted frameworks globally, valued for its flexibility and risk-based approach. It's not a rigid standard-demanding certification, but rather a set of guidelines to help organizations manage and reduce cybersecurity risk. Cost structure, the NIST CSF is organized around 5 core functions, which form a continuous cycle. Identify, understand your assets, hardware, software, data, business environment, governance structure, risks, and vulnerabilities. This sets the foundation. Protect, implement safeguards to ensure the delivery of critical services and limit the impact of potential cybersecurity events. This includes access control, awareness training, data security, protective technology, etc. 3. Detect, implement activities to identify the occurrence of a cybersecurity event promptly. This involves monitoring, anomaly detection, etc. 4. Respond. Take appropriate action once a cybersecurity incident is detected to contain its impact. Includes response planning, communication, analysis, mitigation. Recover, implement activities to maintain resilience and restore capabilities or services impaired due to an incident. Includes recovery planning, improvements based on lessons learned. Key features of NIST Cybersecurity Framework CSF includes risk-based, focuses on managing risk according to your organization's specific context and risk appetite. Outcome-oriented defines desired cybersecurity outcomes rather than prescribing specific technologies or solutions. Adaptable can be used by organizations of any size or sector. Common language provides clear terminology easily understood by both technical and non-technical stakeholders. NIST Cybersecurity Framework is best used for improving overall cybersecurity risk management, communicating security posture to leadership, and aligning with US government requirements, though adopted far beyond. Its principles are universally applicable. The next framework we are exploring is ISO 27001, ISO 27002, the ISO IAC 27000. Family of standards, particularly ISO 27001, is the leading international standard for information security management systems, ISMS. Unlike the NIST CSF, ISO 27001 is a formal standard against which organizations can achieve certification. ISO 27001, the ISMS requirement, specifies the requirements for establishing, implementing, maintaining, and continually improving an ISMS within the context of the organization, requires a systematic examination of information security risks, taking account of threats, vulnerabilities, and impacts. Mandates the design and implementation of a coherent and comprehensive suite of information security controls and/or other forms of risk treatment, such as risk avoidance or risk transfer, to address those risks that are deemed unacceptable. Requires an overarching management process to ensure that the information security controls continue to meet the organization's information security needs on an ongoing basis. Follows a Plan de Check Act PDCA cycle for continuous improvement. ISO 27002, the Code of Practice for Controls, ISO 27002, provides a reference set of generic information security controls and implementation guidance. It's essentially a catalog of best practice controls that support the implementation of an ISMS based on ISO 27001. Controls cover areas like policies, organization of information security, asset management, access control, cryptography, physical security, operations security, communications security, incident management, business continuity, compliance, etc. Annex A of ISO 27001 references these controls. Key features of ISO 27002: formal certification allows organizations to demonstrate compliance through independent audits. This is often valued by international partners and regulators, e.g., sometimes referenced in financial sector regulations. Comprehensive covers a wide range of security domains. Risk-driven requires a formal risk assessment and treatment process. Process-oriented focuses on establishing repeatable management processes, the ISMS. It is ideal for organizations seeking formal certification, needing to provide assurance to international clients, partners, or wanting a very structured, process-driven approach to information security management. Another key framework to look at is COBIT, Control Objectives for Information and Related Technology, COBIT now. Managed by ISACA, is a framework focused on the governance and management of enterprise information and technology, IANT. It takes a broader view than just security, aiming to align IT strategy with business goals and ensure that IT investments deliver value while managing risks. The core principles of COBIT 2019 includes the following. 1. Provide stakeholder value. 2. Holistic approach, considering processes, structures, principles, policies, information, culture, ethics, behavior, people, skills, competencies, services, infrastructure, applications. 3. Dynamic governance system. 4. Governance distinct from management. 5. Tailored to enterprise needs. 6. End-to-end governance system. The structure, COBIT structure, defines numerous governance and management objectives organized into domains, e.g., align, plan, and organize, APO, build, acquire, and implement. BAI, deliver, service, and support, DSS, monitor, evaluate, and assess MEA. Each objective is linked to specific processes, goals, metrics, and practices. Key features of COBIT: control objectives for information and related technology, business alignment, strong focus on ensuring IT supports business goals and stakeholder needs. Holistic considers IT governance within the broader context of enterprise governance. Process-oriented defines detailed processes for managing and governing IT. Metrics-driven emphasizes measuring performance and maturity. COBIT is particularly valuable for IT departments, IT auditors, and organizations looking to improve the overall governance and management of their IT function, ensure alignment with business strategy, and measure IT performance and value delivery. It helps answer questions about whether IT is delivering the expected benefits and managing risks appropriately. Next framework is CIS Controls Center for Internet Security. The CIS controls are a prioritized set of cybersecurity best practices created to stop the most pervasive and dangerous cyber attacks today. They are more technically focused and prescriptive than NIST CSF or ISO 27001. The structure in CIS, the controls are organized into implementation groups, IGs, allowing organizations to prioritize based on their resources, and risk profile, IG1, basic cyber hygiene, foundational controls that every organization should implement to defend against common attacks. IG2 builds upon IG1, designed for organizations with more resources managing greater risks. IG3 builds upon IG1 and IG2, focused on organizations managing sophisticated threats and sensitive data. The controls themselves cover areas like inventory and control of enterprise assets and software assets, data protection, secure configuration of assets and software account management and access control management, continuous vulnerability management, audit log management, email and web browser protections, malware defenses, data recovery, network infrastructure management and monitoring, defense security awareness training, service provider management, application software security, incident response management, penetration testing. Key features of CIS: prioritized and actionable, focuses on specific technical actions known to mitigate the most common attacks. Prescriptive, offers more direct guidance on what to implement compared to broader frameworks. Threat-focused, directly addresses current attack vectors. Scalable implementation groups help tailor efforts. CIS is excellent as a practical starting point for implementing technical security controls, especially for organizations needing concrete actions, often used alongside broader frameworks like NIST CSF to provide specific control guidance. Comparing the frameworks, which one is right for you? There's no single best framework. The right choice depends on your organization's specific needs, goals, industry, regulatory environment, and maturity level. Often, organizations leverage multiple frameworks. Use NIST CSF if you need a flexible, risk-based approach to improve overall cybersecurity posture and communication, particularly if aligning with US standards is beneficial, good for integrating security into broader enterprise risk. Use ISO 27001 if you require formal certification, operate internationally, need to provide strong assurance to partners, or prefer a highly structured, process-driven ISMS, often relevant in regulated sectors. Use COBIT if your primary goal is to improve the overall governance and management of IT, align IT with business goals, measure IT value, and prepare for IT audits. Use CIS controls if you need practical, prioritized technical actions to implement quickly to defend against common threats, perhaps as a starting point or to supplement another framework. Many organizations find value in using NIST CSF or ISO 27001 for the overarching governance and risk management structure, and then using CIS controls for specific prioritized technical implementation guidance. COBIT provides the higher level business alignment perspective for IT,